credit dispute letter that you can use to dispute inaccuracies on your report word for word. And I got plenty more in store. So let me know if you want more of these, and I can do some for multiple different categories across the board. Stick around. What up? You got Mr. Smith, 0.5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video, I just want to show you a credit dispute letter that you can use word for word if you like, and you can make adjustments accordingly, and I kind of educate you on each section, what it means and how it can benefit you and what areas you can feel free to extract and why. And feel free to screenshot, type this up to the side and use it to your advantage. And if you want access to our free credit class where we talk about additional things that you can just understand in terms of restoring your own credit, click one of the available links below so you can get access to that free credit class. There's a host of other things that can help you take your credit to the next level. But letters are a big deal in terms of what people be wanting access to in order to restore their own credit. So let's dive in. I don't want this video to be too long, but I want to make sure I move in a way that you're able to get some good images or screenshots or type or write it down, whatever it is that you're doing. Now, as you'll see in this particular example, and there are different styles of credit letters. This definitely is just one of many, and it doesn't have to be so jargon based. So in other words, this one has some jargon, some legal jargon that basically lists and mentions the laws that protect you, known as the Fair Credit Reporting Act laws. So those laws are there to protect you, and a lot of times if they're incorporated in the letters, they can't help because it's just letting it be known that, hey, because of this law that I'm aware of, this has to take place. But it doesn't have to be in it. But in the letters that I'll be providing, 9 times out of 10, they will be in it. If you don't want it in there, just so you can be, come off as just a normal person who's actually writing their own letters, then by all means, those letters can work as well. I tend to include them just for the sake of making sure it hits, because a lot of times they're using an automated system, and if they're scanning it with their automated system, eOscar is a system that they use, and some others, but if they're scanning it in their system and it highlights certain jargon in their system, I would like some of those laws to be relevant as well. So just something to consider, but it's not necessary because it can work without it due to the fact that they already know these laws. Whether you include it or not, they know what they're supposed to be doing or not supposed to be doing. So the first few lines is just centered around the heading. So it'll be your name, and you'll see these brackets on mine because I have a system that I use in order to do credit and things of that nature, and it automatically embeds a person's information in there on my behalf. And if there's something you want access to as well, one of the links ought to take you there if it's something you're interested in from a credit restoration standpoint. Like, say, for instance, you're restoring your own credit and you're interested in starting your own business. It's a link that you can hit below, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of those buttons, you can go about starting and launching your own credit restoration business. But enough of that. So in this heading, you'll see that this will be your first and last name. Right here it says Klein, but it'll be first and last name, address, date of birth, and social security number. Usually this can just be the last 4 of your social, so it doesn't have to be the full social security number. Personally, I recommend just using your last 4, but that's just me. But it can definitely just be your last 4. Then this letter being that is directed towards the credit bureau, because they're different letters. Some might go to creditors, debt collectors, different entities, things of that nature. But this one is for bureaus, so this will have the bureau's address here as well, and you can easily find the credit bureau address. If you want me to start including it, then just let me know in the comments and I will. But you have TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. All 3 of those are the 3 different bureaus. So this letter will be duplicated for each bureau based on what you see on your report. So nothing happens without you pulling your report. You have to, one, see what's on your report. Once you see what's on your report, you see what you feel is inaccurate based on you knowing your own spending and things that you might see that doesn't look right. Is the name spelled correctly? Does the balance look incorrect? Does the last activity date look incorrect? All of those are inaccuracies that can be worth disputing. So that said, you have to have that report pulled up prior to putting in this letter, and you would do that for the bureau. So, for example, if you pull up your credit report and you got all three bureaus, you got TransUnion, Equifax, Experian right in front of you. TransUnion might show a different list than Experian, and Equifax might show something slightly different. Why? Because not all things are reported to all three bureaus. So you have to understand that, and depending on what you're disputing, because you're not going to want to dispute everything. Don't just dispute it just for the sake of disputing it, because you could strip yourself of some of your good credit history. And that's a whole nother video. But be mindful when you're disputing things on your own, because you want to make sure you're disputing it in a way that doesn't dig a hole deeper than it has to be dug. You want to make sure you're cleaning it up and disputing things that you know are hindering your score from being where it needs to be, certain collections and late payments and things of that nature, and having them to update it to positive if it's showing to be negative. So it's different lingo that we can discuss on how you can make that a reality for you. That said, so this one you'll put the bureau, each one, 3 different ones. If you're disputing towards all 3 bureaus based on your report, it'll be 3 letters. So let's just say that you had one account that you're disputing and they reported to all 3 bureaus. You have one for Experian, one for TransUnion, one for Equifax. You send out 3 different letters separately. Some people say do certified. I've done certified. I've also done regular mail, just using a stamp. Both work. So it's total preference at that point. Certified, of course, allows you to be able to track it. The snail mail stamp version doesn't allow you to track it, but it has worked. I've had success greatly in just using regular mail. Certified costs a little more, and it's just a good record keeper in terms of knowing when they received it and how much longer they have in order to reply. And if they don't reply by a certain time, then you can hit them with a no response letter. You can hit them with, different variations of letters, in which we'll get into over the course of this channel. If you're interested in more letters, I got you covered, and I'll break it down as to each line, the benefits of it. So that's it. So you got the RE right here, letter to remove inaccurate credit information. So this letter is strictly for inaccuracies. So if you notice certain things that are inaccurate, like I said, it could be misspelled names, they could have a false name, they could have, just inaccurate data in general, just based on what you see on your report, you're comparing it. So that's the headline. And then you just put to whom it may concern. And you're just saying, I received a copy of my credit report, because you want to have pulled your report before you dispute anything, of course, and found the following items to be in error. This is the thing that you notice to be in error, aka inaccurate. And right here, this is where the information will go. So on mine, once I go through the system, and I'm actually restoring credit for someone, once I've gone through the different items that I want to dispute, then it automatically embed it. But I'll just give you an example, because what you're going to have is you're going to want to list what it is, the reason that you're disputing the item, and what you want them to do because you recognize some level of inaccuracy. So I'll give you a brief example. So say you're disputing this because you noticed that it had, and let's go with inaccurate activity date. So say it had an inaccurate activity date, and it didn't line up on all 3 bureaus, in other words. And say you want to, and say this is the company. Say the company is Cap 1, the number is 543XXXX. And if it has all those X's on there, make sure you put those X's. Don't give out the full account number. Just put it on there exactly how it sounds. And, so say it's Cap 1. And then from there, once you say whatever the account is, underneath it, you want to say your reason. So, the reason is inaccurate activity date, but now you want to let the bureaus know what you want done. So this can be anything from update late payments to positive. This could be remove from credit report. It's a host of different things. It could be that you just want them to show how they verified this particular item, because it's, you might want, it might be inaccurate, but since it's showing up accurate in their system, you want to see how they verify it. So you might say, please supply the information that you use to verify this item. And sometimes they'll be willing to remove it just off of the fact that they can't verify it and you just gave your reason. So it may lead to a removal anyway just with that jargon alone. So you have your reason, you have the item being disputed, and you want to remove from your credit report. And there are a couple of different things that can be said. You know, another good one that, you know, has worked very well is just the simple typing all messed up right now, but y'all get the point. I'm just coming off the dome. Verify account. So in this example, you're saying verify account. What account? This account could be bed loan. Want them to verify the account, and you might say here, please supply information on how you verified this item, which is the example that I just gave. So now you're telling them to verify the account, and you're saying, hey, supply the information that you use in order to verify this item. And that's a powerful line, because this one kind of does, it's kind of a double whammy. Normally a person may say verify account, please remove it from my account. But when you say verify account, please supply the information that you use in order to verify this item, now you stepping in, it's kind of a double letter process. Sometimes a person may say verify account, and then they say please remove it, and then it might still come back verified. Then they come back with, what was your method of verification? Well, that line is basically saying, what was your method of verification? Because in other words, I want you to supply the information you use in order to verify this item. Just some examples that you can use, but this will be the body of it based on what's on your report, how you want them to react to what you feel is inaccurate. Then the rest is where the legal jargon comes in. And like I said, if you're sending this off yourself, you don't necessarily have to have the jargon, but it's important just for you to know. This may be something you might want to research for yourself so you can get an understanding of it. Look into the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's free. You know, you can download it if you want access to that. You know, if you're interested in restoring credit, the system that I have available that a person can use to become or launch their own credit repair business, it has all of the different tools and resources, but this jargon is something that you can utilize and just keep in the system and keep it word for word, or if you just wanted to do away with it and keep the system, keep it simple and make the letters short and sweet, that's totally on you. I personally use the jargon because it has worked in my favor. So, and this is just basically says, by the provisions of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, I demand that these items be investigated and removed from my report. It is my understanding that you will recheck these items with the creditor who has posted them. Please remove any information that the creditor cannot verify. I understand that under this particular rule or statute, you must complete this reinvestigation within 30 days of receipt of this letter. And within receipt of this letter. Not when you send it, but within receipt. So when they receive it, that's when the clock starts. Please send an updated copy of my credit report to the above address according to the Act. There shall be no charge for this updated report. I also request that you please send notices of corrections to anyone who received my credit report in the past 6 months. Thank you for your time and help in this matter. Sincerely. Then you can sign it, and basically it'll be, you know, your first and last name again. So some of that information in there can be beneficial. For one, they have to send you an updated copy of your credit report to your address. You're requesting it, and they have to notify some of the creditors. And that can be a good thing, or it can just cause them to send you a ton of different letters, and then you have to figure out what you want to do based on how they respond. You follow up with some type of response. And if you need assistance in any of that, you don't want to do it yourself, by all means, reach out where I might assist you. But I have more letters that are coming that could be some good follow-ups to some of the letters you may receive. Let me know if you like seeing word-for-word letters, and I have some that I definitely think can help you, some that have gotten the job done for me, my clients, things of that nature. But I wanted you to see it. I kind of wanted to go through it slow and hold it at certain parts of the screen long enough for you to write it down, take notes, type on the side, whatever you got to do, because this is a letter that you can definitely use. Very basic. You know, it's not my primary go-to. I haven't gotten into that just yet. I may reveal it down the line, but it's so many that I can share with you that you can at least hit the ground running and really take full control of your credit, because you deserve it. And there's too many rules and laws that are here to protect us. Believe it or not, those Fair Credit Reporting Acts and, you know, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, those things are intact to protect us as consumers. And if we know how to utilize them, not abuse them, but utilize them, then it can go a long way in terms of helping you restore your credit. That's all I got. Let me know if you have any questions, if this video was beneficial in any way, shape, form, fashion, if you want access to your free credit class, and anything else that I have down there that you might want access to. Consider hitting that thumbs up, subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you don't miss anything that we talk about. We talk about on this channel, anything from credit to financial literacy to, you know, investing, just anything to help add value to your life from a wealth standpoint, or just in general, we share it on this channel. So consider hitting that bell notification after you subscribe, and I appreciate your time. That's all I got for this video. Mr. Smith, signing out. Salute.